Hello. So I'm doing a couple short videos on different energy types, energy weapon types in the game, and some, if not most, of the variants of those energy types. And if you want to see quickly what kind of energy weapons there are, you can go into R&D, beams or cannons or whatever, and there's 6 types: anti-proton, disruptor, phaser plasma, polaron, and tetrion. So this time we're talking about disruptors. Disruptors are one of the most popular type in the game because they have this. This is just the basic disruptor here. It's 2.5% chance of -10 all damage resistance for 15 seconds to whoever you're shooting. And what that means is that whoever you're attacking with this beam, there's a 2.5% chance to apply a debuff. It reduces their resistance to everything by 10. If that makes sense. The Elachi beam is disruptor damage, and it is a 2.5% chance to ignore 100% of target shields and 50% of target's damage resistance. This is really good disruptor damage beam. I usually have a couple of those on my disruptor ship. I never only have one because shooting rainbows of the same type of damage is kind of neat. I mean, whatever, it's all good. This one, Nausicaan disruptor beam. It's a 2.5% chance to hold for 5 seconds, and on hold 430 disruptor damage per second for 5 seconds, with Nausicaan weaponry augmentation set bonus. So in order for that to work, you have to have the 2-piece set bonus for these. This is a brand new weapon. You can get it in a mission down here. Echoes of Light. Right here, Nausicaan. If you get 2 of these set bonuses, and you can do the hold stuff. Not very useful, I don't think. In PvP, I could see it being somewhat okay, but not PvE. It's just kind of a waste. Next we have Nanite Disruptor Beam. This one does 2.5% chance, -5 all damage resistance, and increases shield bleed through by 2% for 15 seconds. So the damage resistance debuff is not as good as just a normal disruptor, but you do get the added shield bleed through, which these aren't that good because as soon as the shields are gone, you don't have the extra bonus shield bleed through because there's no shields. So I mean, you could throw one of these on your disruptor build if you really wanted to, but just regular disruptors, I think, would be worth it more. Next we have biomolecular disruptors. These do 2.5% chance biomolecular incubation, which is -16.7 flight speed for 8 seconds, and after that 8 seconds it does 776 radiation damage, which ignores shields, and if you're fighting Undine, double the damage. So not doesn't have the good old disruptor debuff, which is kind of the whole point of using disruptors, but if you want to slow somebody down and then do some radiation damage, maybe you have a radiation build, you could throw one of these on there, maybe 2, I don't know, whatever you want to do, and do more of the radiation deeps. Next we have Coalition Disruptor Beam Ray. Aside from looking super cool and making funny sounds, these are awesome, absolutely fantastic. If everybody in the group, if you're doing ISA, everybody has disruptors, and not everybody has to have coalition disruptors, but these 2.5% chance, -20 disruptor resistance rating for 30 seconds, and stacks up to 5 times. So you will absolutely wreck shit if everybody has disruptors, and even just 1 or 2 out of 5 people have a couple of these. I mean, it's going to destroy some fools. So really good. Get these. I mean, everybody should probably have one of them on their build at least, just to do on their disruptor build, just to do all of the more better disruptor deeps. Alright, next we have the Resonant Disruptor Beam. This one does, it's a 2.5% chance for a Resonant Disruption Wave, which is a 2 kilometer radius at the target. It does 645 physical damage with 100% shield penetration, and then the normal old Disruptor minus 10 all damage resistance Disruptor debuff. Increases damage to shields by 15% from all energy types for 8 seconds, but that last bit requires it to have the 2-set bonus. Not really necessary because 2-set bonuses makes it so you have. Because I can show you the where's that one at? Iconian, I think. Is it Blood of Ancients? Yeah, so you need a 2-piece set of here. This console, I mean, it does, disruptor damage, but I mean, there's better things to have. But if you want the set, it's right here. Just do Blood of Ancients a couple times, and there you go. So, I mean, not terrible by any means. It's 2 kilometer radius damage is not bad. Next is the Terran Task Force Disruptor Beam. Now this thing, lots and lots of people use it on every single build. Like, regardless if it's Disruptor or Phaser or Anti-Proton, whatever, people still use this because on the top there it says that damage dealt increases as target's hull decreases up to 200% damage at 25% hull. So, if you're using this beam, whatever you're shooting at has 25% hull or less, this beam is doing 200% more damage. So it's obviously crazy good. I mean, 25% hull is basically dead anyway, so you only get a couple shots off. Still does a lot of damage. And then it has 2.5% chance. Apply a stack of Withering Radiation. Lasts for 60 seconds. Can stack 5 times, which is 202 radiation damage to target per stack. So not only one that's at 25% hull or less, doing lots of damage. It gives the radiation damage as well. It doesn't do the normal disruptor debuff, but still definitely worth it to have this on most any build, really, just because of that 200% damage. Last one that I have is the Withering Disruptor, which 2.5% chance. Apply a stack of Withering Radiation, same thing as the Terran one. 128 radiation damage to target per stack of Withering Radiation. So it's doesn't have the Disruptor debuff, which kind of sucks, but it gives radiation. So if you have a radiation build, you're going to want to throw one of these on there, but generally you don't use this for any disruptor build because you really want to go for the you got to make sure that all damage resistance is on at all times. But there we have it for the disruptors. I know there's probably a couple more, but there's more disruptors in the game than anything else. Kind of crazy. But there's disruptors, and I'll see you next time.